Michelle are both coming.
Oh, how nice.
Everything goes well with your flights.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said, Brianna called me the other day and said, how about the week before Thanksgiving? Is that all right that we could come? I said, you mean your mom's coming as well? She hasn't been back here for ages. She said, yeah, she wants to come.
So they're coming for Thanksgiving? Oh,
Before,
that'll be
they're coming,
nice.
they were gonna come on a Monday. It turned out they're coming on a Tuesday, leaving on a Saturday. They have some relatives. She's hoping, Brianna's hoping one of them will pick him up at the airport, which they did last time.
Will they be staying with you? Good. That'll be nice.
Going to the Welshfield Inn for dinner. Got it all. I said, well, depending on cooking. Brianna said, no, we can go out. How about the Welshfield Inn? That's their favorite place. And Michelle's too. And packed. Well, they are 700 expecting. Welshfield Inn. They bought a house next door. It's not a house. It's a church. Pretty, quaint little church. Bought that for private party. That's where.
Are you going for dinner?
We can.
I'm going to my sister Joanne.
I left, thought I had my noon.
And then for Christmas, they'll come to my house.
It was by chance.
And with the help of Guido's, I'll do,
Anyway, I, stuff, the other stuff forwarded. Both emails, so that he could.
Found out about this.
what it page is that? Is that this page?
The whole thing. This was what they had that we did. Council.
Oh, this is, that's 734, 1434, and this is 1458.
We're gonna be going through today. Going through this.
Oh, today, yeah. I thought you said Tuesday. I thought,
No, but I mean, that wasn't what was planned.
I was up there Monday and talking to
I want to get Ted's address from Lou.
He was just talking about him over there. He's progressive, but he hasn't been up. He probably has it because he's been moved.
Yeah,
He's been moved
I'm
to
going to ask him.
Middlefield. To Middlefield. North, Middlefield. Because he lives in Garrettsville, it's not that far. but-
That's right. He's been moved to Middlefield.
That's right. I thought maybe I had it in my phone.
I'd like to call the November 13th meeting of the Design Review Commission to order. We'd have the secretary do a roll call.
Mr. Dudek,
Here.
Mr. Manfres, Ms. Reedy,
Here,
Mr. Madonio, Mr. Hummel, Ms. Kane,
Here.
Mr. Sodel.
Here,
Make-
I can make a motion to excuse the 3 absent members from this meeting.
Second.
Mr. Dudek,
Yes.
Ms. Reedy,
yes.
Ms. Kane,
Yes.
Mr. Sodel.
Yes.
Now, the next item is the minutes from the October 9th meeting. Is there any corrections to them or changes?
Seeing none, I make a motion to accept them as written.
And I'll second that.
Mr. Dudek,
Yes.
Ms. Reedy,
Yes.
Ms. Kane,
Yes.
Mr. Sodel.
Yes.
Next item is new business, which we have none. Unless someone has some in the audience.
Only thing, I'd just like to say something that if anybody has noticed the wraps on our boxes on Main Street, they're very beautiful. I think they really add to the city. Have you seen them?
What did you say?
The wraps. They wrapped the traffic signal boxes. Control boxes. There's only, I've only seen two. I don't know if there were other ones. The one at the corner of Prospect in Maine by Walgreens is done, and the one down in front of the Chase Bank is done. So check them out. They're very bright, and there's so many different municipalities that do that through Cleveland and everywhere, and they did a real nice job on it. So I just thought,
Yeah, they look good.
and was that done by Main Street Ravenna? Was that part of theirs, or
I believe they're the ones that have spearheaded it, yes,
it looks nice?
yes. And there'll be a few more in
Okay,
your
one-
area
one near me.
also. Yes, 1 year, yes.
Yeah, so you don't have to put up with the peeling paint.
Which I didn't want painted from the beginning because you can't paint stainless steel well,
Yes,
but it was done anyway.
so
Anyway, but yeah, they do look good.
they look nice.
The next item is old business. And we are going to discuss 1434 and review some changes, former changes.
Yes, this all started,
Make sure you talk in the mic, buddy.
it is, yes, it is on.
No,
Yes.
can't hear you. No. Yeah.
It's on. So May 17th of 2021, Design Review submitted proposed changes in accordance with, some of these changes were mayor's comments, changing some different items to 1434 from the administration side of changes. For instance, moving to 8 members versus 9, 7 voting members. The mayor shall appoint a total of 2 members from the following groups. These are the different changes, and I think you guys have those. Should have them. I think Julie gave them to you. I'm not going to go through all of them, but so a lot of, again, these changes were primarily administration changes. Monday night, Cheryl Wood sponsored a tracking sheet to make additional changes, and I think Larry was a penman of these changes. And maybe your group is requesting changes. The committee felt Design Review should have a chance to review these changes, compare what was done, the original proposal in 2021 and the proposal that was presented Monday night. So you guys should have both of those to review. I know it's a lot to review in a short meeting. Once Design Review reviews comments, makes changes or does what design review wishes to do, then it'll be resubmitted to the committee for review and comparison. And then eventually it'll come to vote to make the changes to 1434.
Come to the vote. You're talking about the vote here before
Council.
it goes to council?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Well, it has to get voted on, it'll get voted on here too.
Correct,
Correct, okay.
yes. Or,
That would be the progression from here then to
Correct.
them, yeah.
yes, changes or whatever, yes. Discussion, potential changes for a final vote from design review, then it goes to council for their final vote. And the guidelines have been approved by council. I wasn't aware that they actually signed an ordinance, but they did, with the word shall removed. There was a discussion that some shalls should be put back in, but that hasn't been completed yet. There shall be a building permit pool, that sort of thing. Because right now it reads, there should be a building permit pool. That's not that violates other sections of our code. So those errors should be created. They must be fixed to have a working document that's legal in regard to our guidelines. Anyway, we'll work on that another time. I know Lou and Ted were going through those things, and it didn't get finished yet. So right now, today, we're just looking at 1434, the ordinance that empowers the Design Review Commission.
Any comments? I don't, if I can say something, under 143404, on what was submitted to council Monday, it talks about if the if this committee doesn't provide a certificate of approval acceptable to the applicant, then the application shall be returned to the chief building official to issue the permit. I don't think that should be, I don't agree with that. I mean, the way it's structured now, they go to council if they don't like our answers, or if they're not willing to do what we recommend.
So would you say where you are exactly?
143404, it's at the top of the page, and then down below, halfway down, there's some red.
Julie, you might have to help her find the right document. She has two documents, I suppose.
I'm looking at what that was put on the agenda
Monday night.
Monday night.
There, under that section.
Okay.
Mrs. Miller?
Larry has a comment, and then I have a comment. Sherwood put a lot of time and attention into the proposal she submitted on Monday. Larry and our group has as well, hours, countless hours. They're fair to the people that actually have skin in the game, the people that own property, the property owners, and to the people in Ravenna. I would ask that you adopt those. Thank you.
Would you mind repeating that last sentence that you said, please? I didn't get it.
I would ask that the proposal in front of you from Cheryl Wood, presented to council on Monday, be accepted and approved by this council. I have a lot more comments, but that would be for another meeting. Right now, you're dealing just with this. Thank you.
Okay, so back to what you were saying you didn't quite agree with,
Yeah,
is which,
the second paragraph in red.
oh,
Yeah.
huh?
It says, after the application has been on the Design Review Commission agenda for 3 scheduled meetings, if no certificate of approval is acceptable to the applicant, has been granted, the application shall be returned to the chief building official to issue the permit.
Was this part of the agenda for Monday night?
This is what you had sent me yesterday.
Correct.
Yes, this has got the change.
That wasn't what was submitted Monday night. I can make copies of this in red.
Pardon me, if I may make a further comment, would that be acceptable?
Sure, just make sure you're speaking into the mic, so,
Can you hear me? Is
Yes.
that better?
yes.
Too loud?
No,
No, you're okay.
no, it's good.
After 3 refusals at design review, and it would go back to the building department, it cannot violate any ordinances or any building department ordinances or rules. It's, even though it would be approved at that point by the building department, it still, by law, cannot violate any building department rules or ordinances. So basically, it's all aesthetics. So, aesthetics, how it looks. And that, to my mind, should be a personal choice to some extent of the property owner. In the 1980s, when most of the people were educated that put these rules in place, there was a business called The Gap. We still have The Gap. And you could choose beige, 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 or tan. That was it. And I think that aesthetic followed through in architectural schools and others. You have a very narrow choice. In those 40 years, businesses have left Ravenna. Businesses won't buy property in Ravenna. There was a study done on what is the most important thing for residents or anyone coming to Ravenna, and they said, well, the historic district. What they didn't ask is, what about the people that didn't come to Ravenna? That's a bigger chunk of people than did come to Ravenna. So I think it's time to be a little more progressive. Kent doesn't even have a historic district or a design review, to my knowledge, at all. And they're a thriving community, and they're within 5 miles of us. There's probably a reason. I think the reason is less regulation. You have to have some regulation. If someone comes before this committee and for one obscure reason or another, they're not approved, and they come back 3 times to try to convince you or try to change things, but this committee as a whole is still not happy with the changes, then it would go to the building department. And as long as it's not violating any laws, then it's approved, and the business can move ahead. And I think that's important. We need more businesses, not fewer. Give it a try. After 40 years of trying what we've tried, it's not working. It's time to try something a little bit different. Thank you.
In fairness to what you said, we are not responsible for the economic development of downtown. That is the city of Ravenna, through their economic development person, the Chamber of Commerce, and the citizens in Ravenna. And so how do you get more people to come to Ravenna and shop when there are businesses that aren't bringing those people in that are necessary? And I don't see how these rules are stopping in that kind of development.
These rules are a speed bump that slows anyone down that wants to put a business in Ravenna. And if they don't want to put a business in Ravenna,
But we're only looking at the exterior, not
you're
the
only looking at
interior.
the exterior, which is important to the person that purchases the building and maintains the building. That is an integral part of any business. I know it's an integral part of any business, how the outside of the property is maintained. We're fortunate enough to own a historic building, and we're fortunate, I think, personally, to be in love with historic properties. So we try to maintain it the best we can and make it look nice for downtown. But someone purely wanting to open a business in Ravenna
I got it.
has to go over the speed bump, several of them, before they would even consider purchasing the property.
And what are those?
We've had people here at meetings in the past that said, had they known they had these restrictions in Ravenna, they wouldn't have purchased the property. So that would be 2 or 3 businesses fewer. I have no problem with maintaining a historic district. I have a huge problem forcing people to maintain a property that is not their aesthetic. And I do believe that you are an integral part of economic development in the city of Ravenna, because the speed bump provided by these regulations it's why would you? Why, when there's so many other choices in surrounding communities? You don't have those restrictions in Kent. And as a result, Kent has more foot traffic, more people come for a lot of reasons. University and other businesses over there, there are other factors that provide economic development in Kent other than historic development, but that you don't have that speed bump. Business owners want to be successful. And when you're successful, you have to watch every penny. And those pennies add up very quickly. Why wouldn't you take the easiest path to make the most money for your family? And the more obstacles we put in a business owner's way, there are too many other choices. Go outside of the city of Ravenna, go close. It's no big deal to drive, even if you live in Ravenna, to drive to Kent to enjoy those businesses. So, but that's, again, this could be a long discussion. We could talk for hours and it would be a lot of fun. I know we have a lot of different opinions here, but just answering your question, not being a part of the economic development of the city of Ravenna, I think you're completely wrong. My opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to make a motion that this review be tabled until we have Mr. McDonough and Mr. Hummel here to include their comments and thoughts.
I second that motion.
Mr. Dudek,
Yes.
Ms. Reedy,
Yes.
Ms. Kane, Mr. Sodal.
I guess my thought before I say yes or no is that I try to make every meeting here, and not everybody else does. And now that when we could have handled this, we're going to have to push it off until next month. And next month's a pretty busy time. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be here. So do what you want. So I will, you have your vote, you have enough people. I abstain on that.
So you're not voting at all?
Correct,
So is that an abstention?
correct.
You tend to do that a lot, you know.
I've done it twice. If that's a lot in your mind, that's a lot, I guess, but it isn't in mine. I gave you the reason. I've missed fewer meetings than anybody on this board, and now we're going to push this forward because we couldn't get people out, and we never do. So, Robert's Rules of Order says you have the right to abstain at any time in any meeting.
And the motion carried then. Any other comments?
May I make a suggestion in fairness to Cliff, because Cliff has been very involved in this for years as well. Push this meeting to January rather than December. It pushes it off, but Cliff has valuable insight on this, and I'd like to see him vote on this. Or change the meeting to a time that is convenient for him next month.
We can look at that.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Larry?
Larry Selenius, 123 North Walnut Street. On this subject, I think council would like to hear from you before their next meeting what your decision on this is. My own suggestion, if you don't like that one item, vote to agree with the rest and remove that one. That's basically what council's thinking of doing, is passing this without that one paragraph that you objected to. So I would hope you would reconsider voting on a motion on that. Just another comment, not really related to this paragraph that we're talking about, but as far as your relationship to economic development, one of the big reasons that I've heard that businesses don't want to come to Ravenna is because they need to be able to change their signage quickly in response to the weather, supply and demand, the news, and now tariffs. But in Ravenna, to change their signage, they'd have to pay $100 for a permit and then wait for a design review commission meeting. So that's a big item in the minds of businesses thinking about locating here. So you are very much a part of economic development.
And do you have a list of these businesses that have said that to you?
I know of two specifically, but I don't like to deal in hearsay. Well, one of them came, excuse me, I will quote one of them. The folks that owned the popcorn shop came to city council and said if we knew how this worked, we wouldn't have bought that building and we wouldn't have opened our popcorn shop. They publicly stated that in front of city council.
But what you just said is you're blaming, in a sense, you're blaming this commission because a person who's buying real estate has not done their homework to know what they're buying before they buy it. Now, if they're using realtors, then the realtors should be making those people aware of those things.
But what I'm saying is if their claim is if they did know, they wouldn't have located here.
Well, that may not be.
So my dispute there, Larry, is she was so happy when she came to Ravenna, when she opened her doors and built her factory here. She loved Ravenna. So I don't know where this comes from. I'll leave it at that. They were happy when they came to Ravenna, and they have never had issues. She wanted a bike rack. She's got a bike rack. You know, I know she's working on new signage now, but she hasn't submitted anything.
You were at that council meeting, were you not?
I was, but the issue, I believe, is misinformation. They got a roofing permit. It didn't come here because I approved it. It's a flat roof. It's not part of historic district.
Right.
We do work with people.
But
The misinformation that I hear discussed is sad. And Julie will tell you, she said, hey, I want to put a new sign up. Okay, submit your information. She hasn't submitted it yet. That's not our fault. That's the same thing with Taz you brought up the other night. I told you, 3 of us gave her that application. She didn't submit it. She finally walked in the office and I'm like, where's your application? Oh. And then she submits 2 signs. Which one do you want? I'm not sure yet. You know, this is our side of things. People don't ask me or Julie or Tiffany, where do these stand? And then you hear these and think, oh my gosh, this is wrong. This happened to these people. It's not necessarily true. One Main, I didn't get a chance. I was going to see when the certificate of occupancy was submitted. You know, when we issued a certificate of occupancy, could have been in April versus design review approving their sign in February. My point is we have never stopped a business from opening in this town. They can open without a sign. They can open with a temporary sign. They all do. Social media. You know, these are things that this group does not stop people from opening a business. We don't stop somebody from signing a contract. And it's quite often that people, as Lou said, they buy buildings without calling and saying, is this zoned appropriately? It's sad that real estate agents do that. Now, I did just recently submit information last Thursday, I think, to the real estate organization. I'm trying to think what that's called. The Summit County Realtor Association, SCARS or something like that. Anyway, calling out the fact that we do have a historic district and we have zoning and we have these other things. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen. So, I agree, historic districts do have an economic development component, as all the literature states. A strong historic district generally has a thriving economic development.
We don't have a strong economic.
We haven't for a long time. And I could point a lot of other river communities, steel mill communities that are in the same boat as Ravenna. Just go down the Ohio River and look at those 200-year-old towns. They're just the same. I wish it wasn't. We continue to strive to do better, but we can't stop these businesses that think they can make a secondhand store work or a barber shop. We can't stop that. It's not design review that's holding these people from doing this, because they are allowed to open a business
Well, like
and
I
fail
said,
for that matter.
They want to be able to respond quickly to changes. Well, if we get back to the popcorn shop, when they wanted to, first they put the sign up above. But then when they wanted to change the window, they had to come back, pay another $100, wait for improvement to paint those popcorn kernels in the window because they put the word popped there. It's just, I'm talking about those delays and the additional expense. The merchants don't like that.
Right.
That's why
I understand.
You are a part of economic development, whether it's in your charter or not.
You know, and go beyond this, we have merchants want to cut the trees down because people can't see their signs. That's not this group that deals with that.
I agree. Those trees should either be trimmed up above the merchant signs or below their windows, one of the two.
Specifically popped, we've asked her for the design to review for this meeting today. She didn't get it to us.
For what?
For some signage changes she wants to make.
I talked to her yesterday. I stopped by to get some popcorn, and reason why she's not here, she hasn't finished with the people that are designing. They're not going out there going to paint this themselves. They actually have hired somebody, and they're going with a logo, probably will be copyrighted, which is the right thing to do if you're starting a business. They aren't ready. She's not complaining that it hasn't been acted on or that. She's not ready to put her sign up. You can't really force somebody to come in here and put a sign up she's not going to put up, so.
Right. But I don't want to be blamed that we're holding them up.
Well.
When we haven't got the application yet.
You can't go forward to see that, because she's not complaining that now and hasn't complained about this. She's complaining about what happened before. Okay, like he said, having to come twice. I think there was something back then about percentages of the window with the popcorn.
Okay.
Okay, and as we saw last meeting, we okayed something that was almost 100% higher than it should have been. And then even though we adjusted and took all 3 panes, or 2 panes, was it? 2 panes. It was still over the limit, but we okayed it.
And they still don't have their signs up yet, I don't believe.
I didn't see it yet,
Yeah.
no, in that. I'm a big believer in signage, trying to get this massive amount of traffic that comes by this city every day, just to be able to grab 10 or 12 of those for a couple businesses in here could make a big difference in our city. And the way to do that is to have good signage that's bright and can be seen from the street. That's why I think signage, within reason, you need to get it out there so people can see it. Some of the most you could see the signage in one of the businesses that was probably held our whole city together was Scorman's. And if you remember, they didn't have anything in their windows except signage. I got pictures of it. Here's signage. All their windows were signs. Okay. Yes. There was maybe at Christmas time, they put a Christmas tree in one of the center little windows. Maybe. But the rest of it was signage, so people knew that what was available there. And I'm a big believer in signage, and anything we do to hamper that is a problem for those people that are trying to get a business started here. We've given people grief about putting a telephone number in the window. We've given some people, grief about putting the same thing in two different windows. Yet other buildings, they okayed with the same thing in two windows. And if you want that, I got pictures of that. So when you're talking about verifying that, I got pictures of that because I've taken pictures of almost every sign that's been put up, whether it's been okayed or not, what's been put into windows. So that's just, that's what's happened there. That's what her roadblock was. Not lying. I'd like to put everything into your hands and go ahead and put it there if this stuff isn't, because if not, we end up coming in here to do something like this and sit here and not accomplish anything. That's what you get paid for. I think you do it well. Okay? I mean, you have common sense. You're not gonna, somebody said something about a Playboy magazine in the window at the meeting last Monday, right? No, we have ordinances against that, right? 666 is the ordinance for anything to do with sexual and deviant stuff like that. We have stuff like that.
All right,
Yeah, 1458 prohibits those types of signs also.
Right.
no, anything else?
Well, I'll just repeat, I would like to see you approve these changes without, with removing the one that you don't like. Because council would like to hear from you for their next committee meeting. Thank you.
Mrs. Miller? Mr. Francis, did you want to speak?
I need you to come up to the mic, please.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Miller.
These are being recorded.
Greg Francis, 558 Coleman Avenue.
Thank you.
I agree with Cliff's signage comments. As you come down Main Street and you see these old green signs that are faded out, can hardly read what the business is. Now, Creamery has a nice bright sign, One Main, nice bright sign, but in between, these other businesses still have the old green signs with the gold lettering around it, and the name of the building's faded out. And like Cliff said, you have people coming through, the flow through here is tremendous. And as you're coming down to the red light and you're looking around, if you don't see a nice bright sign reminding you, hey, let's stop here to eat, hey, let's stop here for this, you drive right on by. So the signage is important, but this panel here, the people have to come through with a business and say, this is what our sign looks like. They have to be reviewed, correct? It has to be approved. And if you don't like the size of the sign or the color of the sign, then that business is hampered, like Mrs. Miller said, a speed bump. They're hampered by putting their business in because of signage when they can come in here and do business in Ravenna. So we have to really consider these. I mean, we have ordinances that control types of signs, what the sign might say, but we really need to be relaxed on these businesses. If it's appropriate and if it's going to help their business open, we need to consider that. Thank you.
Mrs. Miller?
I think that it's wrong to take this personally, to think that you are somehow impeding economic development in Ravenna just because of you. I think what is true, don't take it personally. You're just a cog in the wheel here, an important cog to a lot of people, but a not so important cog to other people. The thing that's important is perception is reality. And whether these as long as these rules are in effect and businesses coming into this community have to abide by these rules or these calisthenics to bring a business here, it's easier not to do push-ups. It's easier to go somewhere where you can just get your business, get approved, get a building, get your business going, start making money for your family. Don't take it personally, anyone that I or anyone else is saying, no, it's because of you, you're getting blamed. There's nothing actively in these cases that you're doing that are breaking ordinances. What you're doing is you're trying to follow rules that you've set down for yourself. I would remind everyone here that Bob's comment about the businesses along Route 7 having the same problems, they don't have the same problems. I'm very familiar with all those communities. It's neither here nor there. I've told you before, my family's always been involved with a lot of architecture. I was an architectural antique dealer until I married and had to settle down. I traveled all over the country selling architectural items, a lot of them out of those businesses down there. Route 7 bypasses all those businesses. The glass companies that supported building all those Victorian homes and the potteries, the glass companies are long gone, early 1900s. The potteries are mostly gone. The one left is on the West Virginia side. The steel mills are gone. With the cheaper natural gas now, there's one opened up down in Mingo Junction. And I could name every town all the way down there. And it is historically important buildings. They are lovely, but they do not have the tax base to bring people in, and people are not going to get off of Route 7 to stop at these places. They're not destination towns anymore. Even Steubenville, the biggest one down there, which has a small historic district. As a matter of fact, Cheryl Wood was involved in one of the restorations down there, one of the buildings, to bring it back. She knows what she's talking about. She's been involved with historic restoration at NDS for years. And I think it's wrong to disregard what she recommends is passing what she presented to the council. If you want to leave out that one phrase or that one part of it and discuss that later, that's fine, but at least move it ahead. That would be a good idea. Larry has a good idea on that. Break it apart into pieces that is manageable. As my opinion is, and I've told you many, many months ago, I think this committee should be dissolved. Everybody here has jobs, has claims on their time. There's no reason that when someone comes for a building application, the laws that are in place, the ordinances for those buildings are not followed through Bob's department. Perception is reality. If people perceive that Ravenna has a problem bringing a business in, why bother to investigate it further? Go where it's easy. Take the path of least resistance where you can make money for your family. Thank you.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute, you got a motion on the floor. We didn't vote on it, did we?
Yes, we did.
Did we vote it?
Yes,
I'm
we
sorry,
did.
I missed it. Sorry. Stand corrected.
Were you referring to tabling it?
Yes,
Yeah, you abstained.
okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Diana seconds.
Okay, I got it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain. Thank you.
Don't put words in my mouth, Lou. Please don't put words in my mouth.
I thought Louis abstained.
Yeah.